Most people go through life powerless, weak, unheard. They have no presence, no authority, nothing. They speak and the world doesn't care. They open their mouth and their words dissolve into the air like smoke. They wonder why nobody listens. They wonder why they have no influence, why they can't command respect, why they cannot get what they want. It's because they have never understood the power of speech. Words shapes reality. Words can break people and build empires. The way you speak, the way you command a room, the way you hold your own voice, these things separate the weak from the powerful. You think power is just about money, you think it's just about muscles. No, power starts with speech. Every great leader, every billionaire, every warrior, what do have in common? They know how to speak, how to communicate with the people. They know how to make people listen. They know how to inspire, manipulate, dominate. That is the power. Most of you have weak voices, and I don't just mean the sound. I mean your energy, your presence, your mumble. You hesitate. You sound unsure about yourself, and then you wonder why nobody respects you. You wonder why nobody listens. It's because you don't even believe in your own words. If you don't believe in your own words, own yourself, own your emotions, why should anybody listen of you? Ever notice how the most powerful men speak slowly? They don't rush, they don't fidget, they take their time because they know their words matter, and that is the power. Weak men fill their air with nonsense. They talk too much, they over explain, they beg for validations. Strong men say what they mean, direct, precise, no wasted words. When you speak, people should feel it. They should feel your energy, your own alpha, yeah, it will call its aura, your conviction, your certainty. If your voice doesn't carry a weight, you have no authority. If you have no authority, you have no power. The truth is, most of you don't even realize how speech controls your life. You don't understand that the way you speak determines how people treat you. You walk into a room and your words tell the world who you are before anything else does. If you sound weak, you are weak. If you sound powerful, people assume you are powerful. And your assumptions is everything. You ever wonder why some men walk into a room and instantly get respect? It's not just their looks, it's not just their money, just like me. It's the way they speak. It's the confidence, the rhythm, the weight behind their words. A man who know how to speak can turn enemies into allies, can command loyalty, can influence the weak-minded with nothing but his voice. Now let's talk about influence, because at the end of the day, that's what speech is really about it. Influence. You think billionaires are rich just because they work hard? No, they know how to influence. They know how to sell anything, sell idea, how to make people believe in them, how to make people follow. Most of you can't even convince a friend to pick a restaurant you want, let alone move masses, and you wonder why you are not winning. If you can't use your voice to shift reality in your favor, you are the mercy of those who can. You are a pawn. And let's be clear, speech isn't just about being loud. It's not just about yelling, being aggressive, being in people's faces. No, real power is in control, knowing when to pause, knowing when to let silence do the talking, knowing how to make single sentences carry the weight of your thousands of words. Think of the most powerful men in history. Did they rant? Did they ramble? No, they were deliberate, calculated. They spoke with purposes, and when they spoke, the world listened. You have the understand. When you speak, you are casting spells. You are shaping perceptions. You are influencing minds. You are influencing peoples. A weak man speaks and nothing happens. A strong man speaks and the world moves. And if you can control how you speak, you can control how people see. And if you can control how people see you, you can control what they do and everything. That is the real power. Most of you think confidence is something you are born with. You think charisma is some kind of magic gift. It's not. It's skill. It's built. It's trained. Every time you speak, you are either becoming more powerful or more forgettable. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you spoke and people actually stopped what they were doing to listen? When was the last time your words actually changed something? If answer is never, you have a problem. Massive problem. And you need to fix it first thing. First, stop speaking like you need to permission. Stop sounding like you are apologizing for existing. Speak with certainty. Speak with assumptions that your words matter, because if you don't believe in them, nobody else will. Second, cut the filler. No arms, no hours, no unnecessary words like oh, what's every extra word a tax is a tax on your power. Weak men over explain, strong men get the point. Third, learn how to pause. The pause is the most powerful weapon in speech. It creates tension, it makes people hang on to your own words. Weak men fear silence, strong men use it. Fourth, control your tone. Like your tone. If you sound monotone, you are done. If you sound like you are asking question when you are making a statement, you are done. Your voice should be sounds like you mean business. Fifth, master body language. Your words and your presence must be aligned. You can't be saying powerful things with a weak posture, like bend your body tall, like shoulder back, look people in their eye. Your body should say, I mean what I see. And lastly, conviction is everything. Confidence is everything. The world follow man who sounds like they know everything. They know where they are going, even if they don't. If you sound like unsure, people won't trust you. If you sound certain, they will. You can fake everything in life except belief. Like if you don't believe in yourself, your own words, your voice will betray you. You can say the most powerful things in the world, but if you don't say them with the conviction, they mean nothing. Understand, these words are weapons, and if you don't learn how to use them, someone else will use them against you. So from this moment on, you train your speech like your life depends on it, because it does. The man who can speak well can move mountains. The man who can't will always be at the mercy of those who can speak. People like you are undeniable. Speak like the world has no choice but to listen. Speak like you are already powerful, because if you do it long enough, you will be. Now go and make them listen. Most men don't understand this is they don't realize that life is not about what's fair. It's about perception, people's perception. It's about dominance, it's about control. And the man who speaks with the power controls the room, controls the narrative, controls the outcome. Look around. Who are the men with power? Who are the men who get what they want? Are they the ones with the best ideas, the ones who work the hardest, the ones who are the most deserving? No, they are the ones who know how to command attention and how to speak. And they are the ones who know how to make their words matter. This is the reason some man can walk into any room and be instantly respected. And it's not about because they are the smartest, it's not because they are the richest, it's because they know how to speak in a way that makes people feel their presence. Most of you are invisible. You talk and nobody listens. You try to express yourself, expressing your emotions, and people talk over you. And you try to make a point and you get dismissed. Why? Because you have no weight, no gravity, no force behind your words. And if you don't fix this, you will be ignored for those rest of your life. Think about it. How do the most successful men in history move people? Do they beg? Do they ask permission? No, they speak and the people follow. They say something and it sticks in the people's mind. Why? Because understand the three pillars of powerful speech. The first is certainty. People are drawn to certainty, it's human nature. The man who speaks with absolute conviction will always win against the man who speaks with doubt. If you sound unsure, you are already lost. It doesn't matter if you are right, it doesn't matter if you have the best argument. A weak delivery makes the strongest ideas worthless. Certainty is about owning your words. You don't think something, you don't believe something, you know it. Speak as if what you are saying is undeniable, as if the world itself bends to your voice. Because here is the truth, people don't question certainty. If you speak with absolute conviction and absolute confidence, people will assume you are right, you are right, you are perfect, even before they process what you said. That's how you influence works. Weak men hope to be right, strong men make people believe they are. The second pillar is control. Most people talk too much, they ramble, they explain themselves over and over and over again. They throw words around like they are afraid of silence. That's weaknesses. A man who is truly in control of his speech knows that less is more. He knows that every word must serve a purpose. When you speak, get to the point. Say what needs to be said. Then stop talking. Let your words breathe. Let your presence do the rest. Silence is a weapon. Most of you are afraid. It's you rush to fill every gap, every pause, every moment of quit. That's why you have no power. A man who controls his speech knows that sometimes saying nothing is more powerful than saying everything. The third pillar is command. Speech is just about the words, it's about how you deliver them, your tone, your posture, your eye contact, your ability to make people feel your words, not just hear them. Think about the last time you heard a truly powerful man speak. Did he rush his words? Did he fidget? Did he sound like he was unsure about himself? No, he spoke with precision, with authority, with purpose. Most men lack command. They speak like they are asking for permissions. They look away when they talk. They shrink instead of expanding. If that's you, fix it. From this moment of when you speak, you own the space you are in. Your voice should have weight. Your presence should be felt. You should be speaking like a man who expects to be listened to, not like someone who is hoping for attention. And if you master this, if you truly learn how to command your speech, everything changes. Women see you differently. People respect you before they even know you. Doors open that were once closed. Because here is the secret most people don't understand. Confidence is not just internal, it's communicated. A weak man can think he is confident all he wants, but if his speech betrays doubts, the words will see him as a weak. And a man who sounds powerful, who knows how to command a room, will be treated as powerful even if he isn't. This is why you can see men who are physically weak, financially struggling, even completely unknown, yet they still dominate conversation, controls interaction, and get exactly what they want because they know how to speak like they are already powerful. And when you speak like you are already powerful, you become powerful. It's cause and effect. When people treat you like a leader, you become a leader like me. When people believe in your words, you start believing in them even more. It's a whole cycle. Like, watch my entire content. A cycle that turns men from invisible into influential, powerful men like me. But the opposite is true as well. If you keep speaking like you don't matter, if you keep talking like you are hoping people listen instead of making them listen, you will always be overlooked. So now the question is, how do you start? How do you take your speech from weak to dominant? Step 1. Kill hesitation. The next time you speak, pay attention. Are you using words that weaken your point? Think, maybe, probably, sort of. These words kill your power, eliminated them. Step 2. Slow down. Weak men speak too fast. They rush their words like they are afraid. They will cut off. Strong men take their time. They let their words breathe in. They create tension. Step 3. Control your tone. Monotone is weak. Shaky is weak. High-pitched is weak. Your voice should be grounded. It should sound like it's coming from your chest, like your lungs, not from your thought. Step 4. Own the space. When you speak, don't shrink, don't fidget, don't avoid eye contact. Your body should match your words. Stand firm, breathe deep, project presence. Step 5. Pose with purpose. If you drop a powerful statement, let it sit. Let people feel it. Don't rush to explain yourself. If you say something important, let them process it. Step 6. Speak with certainty, even before you feel it. Confidence and charisma is trained. It's built. It's not about feeling powerful first. It's about sounding powerful first. And when you sound powerful enough time, the feeling follows you. This is the process, and the most men will never do it. Most men will stay weak. They will stay unheard. They will stay invisible, not because they are capable of, but because they never took speech seriously. Because they never understood that words are weapons. But you understand now. And from this moment on, you will never speak the same way again. From this moment on, every word you say will be intentional. From this moment on, every time you speak, people will listen, not because you ask them to, because you made them. Now go speak like you are undeniable. Speak like you own the room. Speak like a man who controls the world around him. And soon enough, you will, if you are still here, if you are still reading, then you are already know something inside you is hungry for this. You want more than just to talk. You want to command. You want to walk into a room and have a people feel your presence, feel your aura before you even open your mouth. You want to be the kind of man whose word shapes the world around him. So let me ask you this. What do you sound like right now? Do you sound like a man who controls his life? Do you sound like a man who people listen to you? Do you sound like a man who, when he speaks, other shuts up and pays attention? Or do you sound like every other weak, forgettable voice that droves in the noise of the world? Because let me tell you something, most of you don't sound powerful. You don't sound strong. You don't sound like a man who have control, and that's exactly why you have no power. That's exactly why you are ignored, overlooked, dismissed. That's exactly why when you speak, people don't take you seriously. But here is the thing, power can be learned. You think the greatest men in history were born knowing how to speak properly with professionalism. You think they came out with warmth, with voices that could move armies, build empires, command entire nations. No, they trained themselves, they built, they forget it through discipline, repetition, and sheer force of will. And that means you can too. Because speech is not just about words, it's about presence, it's about energy, it's about knowing how to transform belief to the people around you. You ever notice how some men, when they speak, they make you believe in themselves? Like me. Like they could tell you anything and you would feel in your bones. That's not an accident. That's because they understand how to control entire frame. Most of you don't even realize what framing is, and that's why you are constantly playing by someone else's rules. When you don't control the frame, you are always reacting, always defending, always on the back foot, always trying to justify yourself. That's weakness. A man who controls the frame doesn't explain himself, he defines the conversation. Let's see, since someone challenges you, weak men respond like this: oh no, that's not true, because actually wrong. That response is weak because it puts you in defensive position. You have already lost the entire frame. Instead, strong men reframe the conversation entirely. Someone challenges you. You don't defend, you attack. They say, I don't think you know what you are talking about. Weak responses. No, I do, because I studied this and I have experienced. Strong response. The fact that you even see it that way tells me you don't get it. Boom. Frame your control entire frame. Instead of proving yourself, you make them question themselves. Instead of justifying, you assert. Instead of reacting, you dictate. That's the power, and this applies everywhere. You can use framing in argument, in business, in relationships, everywhere. The man who controls the entire frames control the outcome. Period. You even notice how some man can make a simple sentence sound like an order. It's not what they say, it's how they say it. Most of you talk like you are like waiting for permissions, like you are hoping for the best, hoping people agree with you. That's why you get ignored. But a man who speaks with conviction, verbal dominance, doesn't ask for agreement. He assumes it. Like me, look at me. Difference, I think this is the good idea. Strong, this is the way forward. Weak, maybe we should try this approach. Strong man, we are going with this approach. Get on board or get left behind it. It's about removing the entire, just like rejecting uncertainty. People don't follow men who think they are right. They follow men who know they are right. Now you might be thinking, but what if I am wrong? Listen to me carefully. It doesn't matter. Confidence and just entire your charisma moves people's more than correctionness. This is why, see, the men who don't even know what the hell they are talking about, still reading massive groups of peoples because they speak like they are undeniable. Like if you sound like people assume you do. And when the people assume you, do they fall? Most of you don't realize how much weakness is in your speech. You undermine yourself constantly without even noticing. So let me give you a rule. Eliminate weak parts, weak words from your vocabulary. Here is a list of words you should remove from your speech immediately. Like tongue twister. Like I think weak. Instead, say I know, maybe weekday. Weekday is this way it is, sort of. Then see, this is what needs to be done. Like, does that make sense? Like weak, instead say, here is what's happening. Your words should be carry weight. Every sentence should sound like fact, not an option, not an like opinion. That's what make people listen most. Men speak from their throat. That's why they sound like weak. And strong voice comes from your chest. It's deeper, slower, and more controlled. And next time you speak, pay attention. Are you rushing? Are you like high pitched? Are you letting your voice breathe? If not, fix it. Strong voice isn't just about sound, it's about control. Speak slightly slower than normal. Hold your words longer. Let them land, and for God's sakes, stop fidgeting when you talk. A man who can stand still on the space is a man who owns the room. This is why nobody like why body language is very important. Speech go in hand and you will speak with power, but move like you are afraid the illusion breaks. But if your body language is controlled and powerful, if your body posture is strong, if your eyes are still locked into whoever you are talking to, people will feel your presence even before you say a word. This is the highest level of speech. Talk to your control your reality. Think of the greatest speakers in history. What they all have in common. They knew how to speak like firmly and very confident. People feel something, not just about your logic, it's about emotion. If you want to people remember what you say, you have to speak in a way that creates emotions, creates feeling. How do you do that? By speaking in stories, creating stories, by using contrast, by amplifying tensions, curiosity, building curiosity. Compare this to statements: we will work hard and we succeed. Strong men, they told us we would fail, they laughed at us, but we refused to quit, and now we won. See the difference? One is boring, the other one has drama, conflict, emotion. If you want to control the attention, learn to speak in a way that forces people to listen. If you apply everything I have told you here, you will never be ignored again. You will be never overlooked. You will be never walk into a room and feel invisible. From this moment forward, your voices is your power weapon. Your words are powerful. Your speech is what makes the world respond to you instead of other way around. Now go. Speak like a man who expects to be heard. Speak like a man who demands respect. Speak like a man who controls his reality. Because if you do this right, soon enough you won't just be speaking, you will be leading entire room. That's the difference between the man who speak and get heard and the man who just make noise. You think it's just coincidence that the most powerful man in history, all you mastered speech? You think it's random? That's the most successful leaders, the wealthiest entrepreneurs, the most influential man, all knew how to own the room with their voice. It's not a coincidence, it's requirement. The world belongs to the man who can speak with power. The speech isn't just about communicating. It's not just about sharing the idea. It's about the domination. It's about the control. It's about bending reality to your will. You ever notice how some men can say the exact same thing as another, but when they say it actually means something? That's because words alone means nothing. It's they are delivered that makes all the difference. A weak man could have the greatest ideas in the world because he presents it's like coward. Like nobody will follow him. Meanwhile, a strong man can say something completely wrong, but he says it's with enough conviction, clarity, and force. People will believe him. That's why the real game. And if you don't learn how to play with it, you will always be at the mercy of the man who do. You will never see two people arguing and one man is absolutely correct, but he's stumbling over his words, unsure, explaining himself too much, desperate for the other person to understand. Meanwhile, the other man who might be dead, wrong, barely or ever engages, just dismisses, controls the turns, dominate the conversion. Who do people believe in themselves? Second man, every time, because the truth doesn't matter. What matters is believe. People follow certainty. People are drawn to confidence, and the confidence and conviction isn't about being right. It's about sounding undeniable. If you don't believe me, look at politicians, look at businessmen, look at social dynamics. The power who rise to the top aren't the ones with the best ideas, they are the ones who can sell their ideas with the words that move people. You ever wonder why? Why the certain men can get away with saying things nobody else could? Why? Some men can walk into a room, speak their mind, and instead of getting backlash, they could get respect. It's because they have built their presence, they have mastered the communication skill, delivery, they have eliminated all the traces, all the hesitation from their speech. The world doesn't punish men for their ideas, it punishes men for their weaknesses, and the weaknesses in their speech is a sign of weaknesses as character. If you hesitate, people assume you don't believe in what you are saying. If you speak too softly, people assume you don't deserve to be heard. If you fumble over your words, people assume your thoughts are just as messy as your sentences. You might brilliant, but if you don't know how to speak with strength, you will never be taken seriously. The first step is removing your every trace of your uncertainty from your voice. From this moment forward, you will never ask for permission when you speak. No more. Can I say something? No more. This might be stupid idea, but no more. I don't know if this makes sense, but that's the language of weak men. You walk into a room and you assume, and you have the right to speak. You don't ask if you are okay, if it is okay. You don't seek for approval, validation. You say what you have to say with full conviction, because here is what you don't understand. The world mirrors you, your self perceptions. If you sound like a man who doubt himself, the world will doubt you. If you sound like a man who doesn't believe in his own words, the world won't believe in you either. But if you speak as your words are absolute, people will start threatening them. Like, it's all about treating them that way. This is how you bend reality. You walk into a meeting and instead of saying, I think we should try this, you should like, this is the what we are going to do. You are talking to a group people, and instead of saying I believe in this is important, you say this is important. You are giving advice, and instead of saying I hope this helps, you say here is exactly what you need to do. Every word must be deliberate, every sentence must be carry weight. If your own words don't feel powerful when you say them, why should they feel powerful to anyone else, anyone other else? You ever notice how powerful men speak slowly, like me? They don't rush, they don't stumble, they don't fumble, they don't sound like they are racing to get their words out before someone interrupts them. When weak men speak fast because they are never afraid to being cut off, they speak without control because they are insecure about holding the floor for too long. They are nervous about taking up space. But strong men, they talk slowly, deliberately, with the pause that demand attention. Because silence is power. Weak are afraid of silence. They think if they stop talking for even a second, they will lose control of the whole conversation. But the strong man knows that a pause can be louder than words. Like me. Think about the most powerful speakers in the history. They didn't even rush through their words like they were scared running out of time. They use silence to create anticipations. They let their words sink in. Powerful man speaks, then awaits. He lets the room absorb what he's just said. It gives people time to process, and that silence, he owns process. He owns them. This is the why most of you can't command attention. You are too afraid of slowing down. You are too scared of owning the space you are in. From now, you speak with deliberate control. You lower your tone. You slow down your words. You hold eye contact, lock eye contact, like expect to be listened to you. And when you pause, you don't break. You don't just look away. You let that silence work for you. This is why posture, tone, and energy matter. A lot matter, just as much as the words themselves. A man who stands straight, who doesn't fidget, who locks in the gaze of the people he is speaking, that's a man who will always be heard, because the world doesn't just listen to words, it listens to presence.